Welcome to the Configure Price Quote Podcast. My name is Sohn and I'm the founder of CPQ Consulting. This podcast is 100% focused on Configure Price Quote, also known as CPQ, and will provide you useful insights into this topic. My guest today is Tarak Patel, who brings more than 20 years of experience in product management and product marketing across multiple industries. At Aleran Software, he focuses on B2B and digital commerce innovation, including the application of AI to support sales and growth in manufacturing. Prior to Aleran, Tarak held roles or partnerships with companies such as Oracle, Salesforce, and Microsoft, and his work has consistently centered on SaaS solutions, data-driven performance improvements, and the use of AI and machine learning techniques in sales and marketing. Tarak, welcome to the CPQ Podcast.
Thank you, Frank. It's a pleasure and honor to be here.
Very excited to have you, and let's start by telling me a little bit more about yourself and what you did before you joined Aleran Software.
I think it was the never-ending search for purpose and meaning before Aleran. No, I don't think that's what you were asking. No, I had a pretty varied background. Started off in engineering, then into consulting and professional services, tech services, then into software. Ultimately, on this on the kind of product development, product management side of things, architecture, QA, everything. Startups are kind of where I tend to focus. Really enjoy the culture and environment of being at startups, and that's what I'm now seeing here at Aleran.
Excellent. But before we go and talk more about Aleran, one more thing, as you worked across industries, I think from SaaS to manufacturing, right? And what's one thing you've learned that you still apply every day today?
Yeah, I think it goes back to my engineering days, through university and then my first job or two out of college. Just, being able to solve complex problems in a practical manner, finding the most efficient path to problem solving. Use that every single day, something that I hope that I impart on my team and the people around me as well.
And that brings up a good question as a leader, right? So when you think about colleagues or teams that have worked with you, what do you think? How would they describe your leadership style?
Yeah, I think my leadership style has a foundation in trust. I think that's how I would best describe it, right? I grant a lot of autonomy to my team members. I don't, manage their tasks or their priority. I've been fortunate enough to work with and have a great team of people working for me as well. And so it starts with trust and having the faith in their abilities and their experience, and then just kind of guiding them and nurturing that along the way.
Got it. Excellent. And if you would describe your professional philosophy in one sentence, the principle that guides your decisions, what would it be?
Yeah, I use the term sustainable innovation, and like my earlier answer to your question, it's finding practical, efficient solutions to complex problems with software, especially at a startup with limited budget and limited resources. Being able to find ways to innovate and drive innovation, which is critical for small companies, but being able to do so in as efficient a manner as possible.
Excellent. And the last question before we talk more about Aleran Software, right, is what do you like to do when you don't work? I hope you have some time when you don't work.
Yeah, I try to find some time, spend it mostly with family. I have two young, well, not young anymore, but two boys. We like to do a lot of family things, golf, sports and activities, and just time together, playing games and things like that as well.
When you said the boys are no longer young, what does it mean? So how old are the boys?
Yeah, one is 16 and one is 19 now.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That they would be offended if you would call them young.
Yeah.
That's true. But excellent, good age. So then let's talk a little bit more about Aleran Software, right? So, and let's start by telling me a little bit more about the Aleran Connected Commerce platform. What is it, and does it combine CPQ with digital commerce for manufacturers, or?
Yeah, so Aleran Connected Commerce is a sales platform for mid-sized manufacturers as well as their channel partners. We noticed that a lot of manufacturers, especially in industrial manufacturing, construction, mill products and related industries that are mostly B2B sales. They make and sell complex products, oftentimes configurable products, complex pricing, contract pricing, things of that nature. And they're having to work across all these different channels. And so the platform really works to orchestrate across these channels, providing them with the right capabilities, which includes the CPQ built in with the digital commerce side of things. So not just for sales to use, but also for their customers to use themselves as well.
Excellent. But so it's a square focus on manufacturing customers. There's no other industries beside that.
Yeah, mostly manufacturers. Again, we do have customers who are distributors, resellers as well. They have similar needs and similar complexities, especially if they're kind of downstream of the manufacturer selling to the end customer, especially as it relates to configurable products as well.
And just to clarify what that means, mid-size manufacturers, because I often see in different parts of the world, mid-size means something different. What does it mean for you?
Yeah, for us at Aleran, we kind of define mid-size as anywhere between $20 million in annual sales up to $1 billion or more in annual sales. That's typically what we find as our customers and who we mostly focus on.
Got it. And what geographic location do you focus on at this time? Mostly North America?
Mostly North America, but a lot of our customers have a global footprint as well. A lot of cases, they'll start in North America first and then expand the use of our platform beyond North America. We're a fully internationalized platform, so they have the ability to kind of, as part of their roadmap, build out for other geographies.
Got it. And then let's talk about the solution itself, the platform, right? And let's start at the foundation. So when you look at the architecture, so I have an idea, is it headless? Is it API first? Tell me a little bit more about that and what is interesting for customers.
Yeah, our architecture kind of follows the concepts of MOC, microservices, API first, cloud native, and headless. And so we've implemented a lot of those core principles of a MOC architecture as part of our platform. We don't hide anything in terms of data. All of our data and a lot of the logic underlying are exposed via our APIs. It's highly extensible, very flexible. We built that intentionally because we wanted to make it extensible for us to develop, which thereby makes it extensible for our customers as well.
Got it. And how old is the company in general?
Yeah, the company's been around for close to 5 years now. So we're relatively new. The Connected Commerce platform is a newer part of our offering. It's about a little over 2 years old now.
Excellent. And how many employees do you have in this business?
Yeah, we have about 40 plus full-time employees. We've grown significantly in 2025. We've pretty much doubled in size this year. And we'll be looking to kind of grow at a similar rate into the future as well.
Oh, wow, that's good to hear, especially in this economy, right? So excellent.
Yes, absolutely.
And now let's talk about the next foundational thing. So we already talked about the platform itself, right? And the architecture. Now let's talk a little bit about the integration capabilities, especially with the key systems, CRM, ERP, I guess in your case, probably also e-commerce, right? So tell me a little bit more about that. What works out of the box, especially?
Yeah, absolutely. So we always integrate, all of our customers are integrated between our platform and their ERP system. And it's not just purely through our APIs. Yes, we do leverage our APIs, but for a lot of the ERPs, especially in the mid-market, focus on manufacturing, we've built connectors, which greatly reduces the time to implement significantly from many months down to just a handful of months. And so you get kind of that out-of-the-box integration kind of built in. Especially with the ERP as a critical aspect. In addition to that, we also have pre-built integration with a lot of the common payment gateways that our customers have, Avalara for sales tax, shipping carriers, including specific carriers, as well as transportation management solutions or TMSs. So we've got a lot of those pre-built into the application. As I mentioned before, it's highly extensible, so either us or our partners or customers could also build out their own integrations as well.
But let me dig a little bit deeper on the ERP integrations off the shelf. Which ERP systems do you integrate with off the shelf?
Yeah, so we have pre-built connectors with the likes of Epicor, Kinetic, as well as the other two Epicors, Profit 21 and Eclipse. Also with SAP and their kind of rebranded ERPs, Grow, Rise, as well as on-premise. Infor, mostly Sightline and CSI. Acumatica, Microsoft Dynamics / Business Central. I'm leaving off a few because just it's hard to retain everything in memory. But yeah, it's a number of the most common ERPs that our customers, as a function of kind of their size and their market and their needs, are typically on.
Excellent. Now I know I might get a little annoying here, but I also like to understand the CRM side a little bit better. What CRMs you integrate with out of the box?
Yeah, we mostly see Salesforce as well as SugarCRM. A number of our customers will also use the CRM capabilities built into their ERP, so we can integrate with those as well. But yeah, those are typically the CRMs that we integrate with.
Got it. Got it. Any additional thing we should mention concerning e-commerce tools that you connect with out of the box?
Yeah, I mean, with our native e-commerce built into the platform, we tend not to integrate with e-commerces, but we can. At least one of our customers is integrated with an e-commerce solution that they've had prior to joining Aleran, that they just wanted to retain because it was there and they already had a number of customers on there buying off of there. So yeah, we do integrate with e-commerce. As I mentioned, we also have headless capabilities. So if they bring in whatever, say, open source CRM or front end framework, we can integrate with that as well.
Excellent. So, excellent. Got that. Then let's look about how the tool is handled in general, right? So, how would you describe it? Is that mostly for handling highly complex or engineered to order configurations, or what's the best use case from your perspective?
Yeah, we can handle manufacturers that offer both configure to order as well as engineer to order. If some of our customers that have what I would call an engineering CPQ already, we complement that CPQ because they use it for a lot of their engineer to order type of scenarios. And so we kind of come in as a more sales friendly as well as customer friendly interface. That allows them to continue to leverage the investment that they've made in that engineering CPQ. In a lot of cases, our customers don't have a CPQ. They're managing configurations in spreadsheets, even highly complex configurable products, material handling, fluid handling, things like that we've seen are being managed in homegrown tools or spreadsheets that are just a challenge for them to manage. And so we come in as a viable solution because you can handle the complex configuration rules, pricing rules, and formulas and things like that through our platform as well.
Excellent. The next question is more for someone who already knows a little bit about the configuration engines, right? So, but it would be interesting to see what kind of configuration engine you have. You have a constraint-based engine, a feature-based engine, rule-based engine, right? So tell me a little bit more about it to see what kind of rules it can manage and how complex it is to maintain this engine over time.
Yeah, so we work to provide a degree of sophistication without it overwhelming the user. So they start with features. So it is feature based, but they can also get into the rules against those features, priority of those rules, so they can drag up and down. It's all user friendly was the intent. And that's a common theme across our entire platform. Because we want to make sure it didn't require the product engineer to have to define those rules and those features and those things like that. So you can define all of it all the way down to the individual options within the feature and then govern which options go with which feature, within which features or across features or feature to feature rules and things like that. So it's a combination of feature based and rules based.
Got it. And who typically maintains the your engine once it's out on the customer side?
Yeah, usually our customers, we as part of our professional services, we help advise on the implementation, also offer the training. So oftentimes it's the product management team within the company that's then going in and managing and maintaining those rules if they aren't already integrated with their existing CPQ system.
Quick break from today's episode. If you're looking into CPQ solutions, I've got 3 resources you don't want to miss. First, the CPQ briefing subscription. Think of it as your shortcut at the very start of the buying process. Instead of spending weeks hunting for vendor information or sitting through endless demos, you get access to briefing documents that explain what each CPQ solution does, how it's positioned, and what to watch out for. It's like speed dating CPQ vendors without the awkward small talk. Now, once you're in the middle of your CPQ journey and you need help narrowing things down, that's where Novo CPQ Consulting comes in. We work one-on-one with you, completely independent and neutral, to figure out the best fit for your business. We don't sell software. We don't take sides. We just help you make the smartest choice. And finally, when you're late in the buying process and you need to make a real decision, there's the CPQ sales report. This is a deep dive 20+ page report that compares vendors in detail and can save you 1 or 2 weeks in your selection process. No fluff, no vendor bias, just facts you can rely on. So whether you're just starting out, stuck in the middle, or ready to make a final call, Novo CPQ has you covered. Another important question is, if somebody already has a CPQ engine, when they decide to use Aleran, does it always replace the existing solution, or could it also enhance an existing CPQ system?
Yeah, if their CPQ is sufficient to meet their needs, especially on the engineering side, a lot of our customers have a CPQ that includes CAD capabilities built in, for example, right? We don't have the CAD capabilities built into our CPQ. And so in that case, we complement and enhance the capabilities, because not everybody needs to get into the CAD aspects of it, especially not on the sales side, not on the partner sales and channel sales side either, or customers serving themselves. So in that case, we serve as a complement or enhancement to their existing CPQ. Otherwise, we have a customer who had a CPQ, but again, it was more just for their sales team. And they wanted something that they could also put in front of their partners and their own customers. And so they chose us because we have that built into our platform as part of that native e-commerce layer that we have that also exposes the CPQ. And so in that case, we served as a replacement.
Got it. Now, I have focused my question so far pretty much on the configuration engine, right? So now let's go to the pricing engine, right? So what would you say? What are some of the highlights that your customers value about your engine, right? So is there something that stands out capability-wise, what it does?
Yeah, it's similar to the configuration rules. We wanted to keep it simple but robust in terms of its capabilities. So you can apply formulas, you can apply, different degrees of mathematical sophistication as part of the pricing formulas and things like that. But we've done it again in an interface that's easy to use, doesn't require a huge learning curve and things like that. You can put in different variables like cost and things like that could affect pricing. You can have combinations of things. If you choose this option or within this feature, how does it affect the price of other options in other features as well? And so you can see that in an easy to use kind of exploded out for you type of manner.
Then let's see. So lots of customers have the pricing capabilities, especially manufacturers in ERP systems, right? So they don't actually, not everyone looks for new capabilities in the CPQ tool, right? So how do your customers use your pricing capabilities? Is that an add-on to what they have in ERP? Does it replace what they have in ERP? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, our configure-to-order manufacturers also offer make-to-stock items, whether it's aftermarket parts or just widgets that they sell as a complement to their configurable products. If they have that pricing, the price lists or price books defined in their ERP, we can consume those as part of our APIs or part of the connectors that we talked about earlier. Same thing with CPQ. Again, if they already have the existing CPQ, we can bring in those pricing rules and other things over from it, so they don't have to manage things in multiple places. In the case where we're replacing the CPQ, then again, they can manage the pricing in our system, and then we feed that back into the ERP.
Excellent. So now, since I went through the C, the P, I should also ask about the Q, right? The quoting forms, how you make a quote nice with some appeal to customers, right? So, what capabilities do you have there? What's speaking to customers?
Yeah, I mean, again, we firmly believe B2B sales isn't a single channel journey, right? There are a lot of cases, it's multiple steps. It's going to employ multiple channels. They may start online with a quote, they being our customer's customer, and they'll start with the quote with an inquiry, and then rep will get notified. They can then choose to then review the quote, offer a discount, modify the configuration, whatever they want to do, add notes and collaborate, and then pass it back through to the digital online channel, or they can communicate via email. They can download a PDF, build the form for the PDF, and then send that across via email. They could do it over phone or whatever other channels they feel is appropriate to use. And not everybody's then going to complete the quote to order process online. And so if I call in and say, hey, Frank, remember that quote, can you place that order for me? They can do that as well as part of our full multi-channel capabilities.
Excellent. Now let's talk about AI. Has been talked about for quite a while, right? So every solution has it now more or less, or every customer is asking for it. Tell me a little bit more about your AI capabilities.
Yeah, we've been adding AI since we started this journey on the Connected Commerce platform. And we've only chosen to increase it. We're a customer-led organization. We hear a lot of things from our customers. They don't always say, hey, it'd be great if AI can solve this problem, but we see these problems that they're facing. So one of the things we launched is a shopping assistant, especially for our customers that offer a number of different models of configurable products where there's overlap in application specifications and things like that. It starts with model selection. And so you can ask our shopping assistant, because before I go in and configure something and get it wrong, and then to start all over again with a different model and then configure that and get it wrong, I can ask the AI, which model do you recommend? And so that'll narrow down that funnel of potential things to configure down to a more manageable set. That meet my needs based on whether I'm in Florida and climate affects things versus on the northern part of the U.S. and things like that. But it'll guide you through that purchasing journey, whether it's selection through to configuration as well. We also recently launched a product content generator using AI. A lot of our customers, we notice for ourselves, they're constantly having to update their product descriptions and specifications and information and things like that, and making it more user-friendly, making it more searchable and discoverable, right? Great use case for AI because it takes that manually intensive process that can take days and boils it down to minutes. But still empowering the user to say, hey, let me review this AI-generated description or content and decide for myself whether I want to apply it or not.
Excellent. So you have some AI capabilities that sound like is mostly on the user side, right? So you also have any AI on the admin side that helps to set up the model, set up the prices and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we've got things that help on the admin side. Apologies if I didn't clarify, but with the product content generation, that's mostly for sales and marketing to use to administer the products because they're doing that kind of periodically anyways. But again, it's a time-consuming process. We're adding more AI capabilities to help advise on how to set up the configurable products, how to set up pricing. Whether to adjust pricing based on competitive pressures and things like that. So we have a pretty robust AI roadmap, especially as it relates to our CPQ capabilities.
Excellent. Yeah, it's a question everyone gets asked, right? So you have to have an answer for that one. But now I talked about all the standard CPQ topics these days, right? Now what I would be interested in is to hear from you what your customers tell you. What do you think are the top three reasons why you sell to the customer that you're selling to?
Yeah, I think the top one we kind of talked about earlier, which is having the CPQ not only available for their sales team, but also available for their customers. I think more and more the trend is towards self-service, right? It's the Amazon effect that we all kind of see in our day-to-day lives. People want to be able to go online and do their own research and configure their own products, and so they want something that kind of has that degree of future proofing built in. They may not be ready to expose all configurable products to all their customers. And our platform allows them to gradually expose the CPQ capabilities through to their customers, however they want to choose to start. So that's probably the number one capability, is that e-commerce with CPQ together under one platform without needing separate licensing and things and separate integrations and things like that. It's also that user-friendly administrative experience for those that are looking to replace their spreadsheets or whatever tools they may be using. They don't want to have to learn a new tool that may take months. And so having that user-friendly, non-technical user experience where you don't have to know coding and scripting and things like that. And then the last thing is that extensibility that I mentioned earlier, knowing that our platform is highly flexible and extensible. And then we also, not only that, but we listen to our customers, as I mentioned. We're constantly improving the usability and the features of our platform based on feedback. And then we run an agile organization, so we release fairly regularly without it becoming overwhelming for our customers.
How often do you release the code? Every month? Every
About every 2 weeks. We release every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But we
Okay.
do it again so that it doesn't overwhelm our customers. Everything is feature enabled, so they can choose which new features they want to use. They're available to our customers, but they can turn them on and off whenever they choose that they're ready to use them.
Got it. Now, I want to dig a little bit deeper on one thing you mentioned was the maintenance of the solution, right? And I know we talked already twice about it a little bit. I still think it's a very important topic for every customer, right? So,
Yeah.
especially if you're talking about a low code, no code solution, that's what you did basically by saying that the product management team is maintaining the solution. So, tell me, how does it work when you have a little bit more complex solution? Is that still that your professional service team or as a more technical person could write some code or script or something to simplify the setup of the rules, or is it really drop downs selections that mostly replace code? So just to get the feeling for how much you could use it if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have an interface that is user friendly, and it was intended to be for those that aren't familiar or comfortable with coding and scripting. So it is, drag and drop downs and things like that. That being said, you can get into the code, especially on the customer facing experience side of things, because some of our customers that have the skills and expertise do want to build an experience that's a bit more tailored to their customers and their liking. So if you want to get into the coding side of things, you can, but you're not forced into it. You can kind of pick and choose where do you need that added flexibility and capabilities that you can get through coding and scripting.
Got it. Excellent. Now, one interesting thing is also always for the CPQ solutions, how long the implementation time is. I mean, that's a tough question, right? So because I ask it very general, it could be depends on the customer, depends on the complexity. But I guess overall, you probably have a good idea what's the average implementation time for an average project, right? So just
Yeah.
to have some idea, what would you say to that?
Yeah, on average, I would say anywhere between, we've taken customers as quickly as 4 to 6 weeks. I'd say on average, it's about 2 months or so. we always start the project with a readiness assessment. So we sit down with our customer, we say, okay, data readiness, design readiness, things like that, especially on the CPQ side. Do they have an understanding of which configurable products they want to expose to their customers and which customers and things like that? If they've already answered a lot of these questions, we can kind of hit the ground running, and we're closer to like a 6-week to 8-week implementation, especially where we're consuming a lot of that data through a connector with the ERP. Otherwise, we sit down with our customers and we can help them and guide and advise them. We've got people on our team with decades of experience in manufacturing, best practices, what to do, what to avoid, things like that. And so we can spend a little bit more time with our customers, help them through kind of the decision-making process. And that looks more kind of like on that average of about 2 months or so.
Excellent. All very interesting. What's a good way for interested listeners to potentially see the solution somewhere? Are you going to any industry events here by the end of the year where people can see the solution and meet?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to be at FabTech. I'm local to Chicago. FabTech is going to be in Chicago next week. So we'll be there. We have a few other events going on throughout the course of the year. You can go to our website, aleran.com, and get more information on where we'll be. We also have a tremendous amount of content. We released a CPQ white paper a few weeks ago. So you can download the CPQ white paper. But yeah, you can also contact us through our website or at sales@aleran.com.
Excellent. Tarak, thank you very much for making time for the CPQ Podcast today.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for listening and hope you learned something interesting today. If you like the podcast, please go ahead and rate it on iTunes or share it with your friends and colleagues. In the meantime, you can find us online at www.novocpq.com. So long, everyone.